The first photograph we have is from Richard. So do you want to give us some feedback on your photo?
Sure. Um, this is actually what I said when I sent them in was we've been taking photos on Sunday afternoons by going on drives, but this is actually walking down to the country club parking lot nearest where they cut down a big tree. And I don't know, the sun was shining on it, and somebody had taken the rotten part of the tree and stored all the logs in it, and it just tickled my fancy. So I took this picture.
Okay. Does anyone want to give any feedback on this photo?
Very nice, Rich.
Mike? Or Lewis or Bob?
Well, I don't know if we need to really give feedback on everything. If somebody wants to say something, go ahead and chime in. If you're in the chat and would like to add a little bit about the photo, that's great. Or if you have any questions or comments about it, and if anyone is in StreamYard, but you're not completely, if you're not up into where we have everybody participated, what we'll do is, if you have anything to say, bring up a private chat on the right hand side, and let me know you would like to speak on something, and we'll bring you in.
Elaine Hamley over on Facebook.
Oh, go ahead.
Go. Elaine says, I like the lines radiating outwards from the center area where the logs are stored. Go ahead, Rich.
I have a question for people. I've started, when I put my photos up on the screen, putting the little white border around them. Is that any problem for contest entries, or do people react negatively or positively?
I don't
think it's an issue.
Yeah, it probably depends on the photo and the judge.
Yeah, I know it depends on the judge, but
there's nothing in the rules that I know about that, but it's kind of like one of those things. You'll get a judge that may love it, or you'll get a judge that may sit there and say, Mats only need to be blah, 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 you know?
Yeah, I just noticed on a black background, to me, it makes pictures look better.
Susan is having trouble hearing. She asked if we can crank it up.
Does anybody else have any problems hearing? Because we're sending it at full volume. So the problem is, Susan, I worry that maybe
no problems here.
Yeah, I worry that maybe we're as loud as we can be, and we're going to blow some other people's eardrums out. Maybe you got a little bit of an issue. Can you just try on your end to make sure? We are working on a very temporary setup. We are out of town for this evening, and we have bad internet. We have everything portable, battery powered, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we have some kind of an issue. But everything seems to be going through okay on our side. Maybe somebody else in chat can let us know if that's the case or not.
Okay, next photo is from Bob.
This is the new drain they put in the pond around our neighborhood. It's an enormous structure. That pipe is 6 feet in diameter, and you can walk through it.
Wow. And
it's I highlighted our house just for amusement. I think Rich's idea of putting a white border around kind of helps. Like, I'll probably start doing it myself at some point.
It does help set it off sometimes.
I noticed it from several landscape photographers who would show their stuff in YouTube videos, and they tended to do that. Did you walk through it to determine the height?
I have walked in it, yes. I'm not 6 feet, so I can fit.
Okay. Any other input?
I'm just going to help out Susan.
Okay.
What's the problem?
Next photo is from JC. It is cactus flower buds. And he didn't give me any input on his photos.
JC's in stream. I just enabled him. Hopefully he can talk to us a little bit about that. JC, are you available?
Okay.
Okay, what about now?
There you are, JC.
There you got you.
Okay. No, that's just a like I said, it's a cactus bud. You know, just before they flower. That was taken at Patuxent Wildlife Refuge. Probably the only two places I've been this year was at Patuxent Wildlife Refuge and what is it? Kind of Farm Park. So that's I haven't been out. I don't think I've been out of Anne Arundel County this year, this summer. So everything you see from me is local from right around the house here.
Well, it's still what you did
And
this
when,
summer.
when those cactus bloom, they are really really beautiful. And I didn't get back out there in time to get them when they bloom. But it's so hard to get in there to take pictures of them because you know how cactus are there. You're gonna get stuck and everything else.
Yeah.
Are those true colors, or are they a little bit enhanced?
No, they're true colors. The only
Wow.
thing is, I had a. That's the other. I didn't even have the little like I normally take a little 12 by 12 background with me, but I didn't use it there because it was so hard to use. So that's just the other cactus behind it right there. And I forgot what I was shooting. I don't know. Can you see the metadata on that? You can see what it was shot at. I don't have it here.
Um,
I don't have it right with me.
it's ISO 100. It's with your 105 millimeter, and it's
Right.
f5.6 at 1/60th of
5.6.
a second.
Okay, 5.6. So that gave me a pretty good blurry background at, So
JC, did you enhance the blurriness of the background?
no, I didn't.
Really? Wow.
No.
That turned out very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I tried it once to blur the background, but I didn't. I wasn't too successful at it. So I got to go back in and practice and learn how to do that.
Because seeing from my angle, it almost looks like you blurred the background out, and the right bud almost shows a little bit of tool marks. But it's just weird how I guess the you have a shadow there. So wow,
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Very nice.
Yeah, probably all the other cactus behind it.
Yeah.
Kathleen Lay over in our chat said she loves the blurred background and the colors.
Thank you.
Okay, the next photo is from Julie Bennett, and it's truck trailer.
Did Julie give us any info
I'm
on that?
Double checking myself. Trying to do multiple tasks on one computer. I'm sorry.
It's terrible coming from home where I've got 4 monitors, Christine's got 3 monitors, and now we have just laptops, and we've got our phones and tablets doing double and triple duty.
No, I do not have.
Julie in chat, can you let everybody know what this photo is of? I'm guessing that you went out and had some kind of maybe a moving excursion, perhaps.
She says over in Facebook that they moved to North Carolina.
Yeah, very nice.
And she says truck is new used.
Hey, new to you.
Okay, next photo is from Susan Weber. And she says, we have about 8 flower pots on our deck, including an Asian lily, daylily, and sedum. Last November, we pruned everything back, added fresh soil, and they settled in for the winter. This spring, I watched them daily as they arose from their winter sleep. One plant looked very different from the other 2 lily species. It was spindly and frail, and we almost yanked it out, believing it to be a weed. Patience won out. Thrilled to see a single bud, which became this beautiful aromatic pink lily. Okay. Next photo is from Lewis Onion. And he's here, isn't he? Can he tell us about it?
He is.
Yeah, this summer I really didn't go anywhere, so I concentrated on just getting shots around the house and doing some just plain shots. A lot of almost every one of my pictures is basically done at a new program. I've learned all summer actually because I knew I was going to be home all summer pretty much because we didn't go anywhere. So I purchased Affinity, which is a Photoshop competitor, and so I've worked on that all summer long. So every shot that you have from me is really a learning process in Affinity rather. But yeah, this is from I think the food challenge at the beginning of the summer, and it's post processed a good bit. I don't remember, exactly what I did, but it did turn out well, so I'm happy with it.
Over on Facebook chat, Susan, back to her photo, said that the orange spots on the lily were not a color, but were three-dimensional, looked and spiky.
Interesting.
Kathleen Lewis is asking, what is the lighting for this onion?
The lighting is natural lighting from one side of the porch. This was taken out on my screen porch, and I just took shots out there when the sun appeared to be in the right position.
Very nice. Let's move on.
And that's really good. That's really nice, Lewis, that you use this assignment kind of to talk about how you bettered yourself by learning affinity. And I'd love to hear in chat if any of our other members and other viewers had used this time to specifically learn something that like Photoshop or Lightroom.
The advantage of affinity is it's only $50, and it's almost as good as it's not quite as deep as Photoshop, but it's deep enough for general people, I think. And the other good thing about it is that there's a lot of resources out there. I've actually gone through 3 different courses on it during the summer, a book and something online and a few other things. So it makes a lot of sense to me. Unfortunately, Photoshop over the years has made no sense to me. So, but this program does make sense. So I'm happy with it, really.
That's great. Maybe Christine will have to bug you to do a presentation on us once you get.
Well, we could do that. I'm pretty familiar with it now.
Great.
Okay. The next photo is from Fred. Is he still with us?
Yes, I
yes,
am.
Fred is.
Okay. Can you tell us about your photo?
This was taken at Fort Meade, and I just bought this new lens. It was a 200 to 600, and I had it on a full frame. And the sun was going down, and just a lucky shot.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like it. Usually it's difficult because these birds are so close to a lot of that vegetation. So I love the out of focus reflection of vegetation in the water. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, the next photo is from Lewis.
Okay, this again is it's was taken out. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the Crownsville Park, where they have on Crownsville Road in Crownsville, Maryland, where they have a nice paved path all the way down through the woods. So last time I've been trying to get a really nice shot of this bridge, and finally I finally got down low enough, and it looked fine. But then I thought to myself, well, why don't I do some affinity post processing? And the thought just occurred to me just to bring out the green in the forest and do the bridge in black and white. And I post processed a good bit of it. Really, there's a lot of post processing in the highlights and in the shadows. And but what I like is that it's kind of blurry in the front, and then the whole scene just kind of leads you out to the curve.
That's really nice. I would not have known that was selective color. And a lot of these effects like that, if you can't really tell, if it doesn't kind of reach out and smack you, that's nice. Now here's the interesting part. I would love to see something or someone at that point of the bridge where there's light there, but there's nothing. But then I'm thinking to myself, can just the fact that light is there, could that be a subject?
Well, first of all, because of COVID, there aren't too many people there very often to begin with. But that's another point. Actually, the highlight at the end around the curve is a little bit too bright, which I didn't realize when I did it before. But actually, that pathway could be made sharper. The way I did a lot of that was simply I just selected the forest in the back and adjusted the green color, and then I selected the bridge, and then I put it into black and white. The black and white is kind of the same way you create it in Lightroom, where you'll go into the RGB sliders and just bring them down, bring all the saturation down, and work your way back up to see, how the contrast and everything works. So basically, it's the forest was selected and manipulated, and then the bridge was also all selected in the path and manipulated to adjust the various aspects of it.
Very
Can I say
nice.
something?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
sure.
Fred.
Okay.
Yeah, that picture would work for leading lines if you had an object in it. What do you think? What
Yeah,
do
well,
people think about
I
that?
think it's missing an object down there. Yes, but there was no object to go down there, so that's the way it went.
Well, that was
Yeah,
my
well,
question.
you don't have to have a person. You don't have to have an object there. You could put an object there.
Well, I just kind of thought it kind of led you out, but as I look at it, I really think that the pathway should have been a little bit sharper because the bridge kind of leads you out of it, but I think the eye kind of stops at the path. So I might actually go back into that and see what I could do about the sharpness.
It's still a nice image, though. I mean, it's
Yeah,
really nice.
I mean, I have shot that bridge all summer long, and I finally got something that actually seemed to work because you've got the railings that are curved and going down to the pathway, and the top part of the railings are curved, and the highlights farther at the end kind of draw your eye to the back. So, yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it worked out fine.
Yeah, I think it works really nice. And Bob wanted to let people know that there is a 90-day free trial for Affinity.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay, next photo. This is also Lewis.
Okay, that one was taken along the path of the wooded area, and basically I turned that into black and white again, but then I highlighted the stems. I mean, I selected the stems and adjusted the color, but then I went into blend modes and just fooled around, and that's what popped up in blend modes. I don't remember what the blend mode is, but I thought it was kind of cute. I thought it was kind of interesting. But I think my wife commented that there wasn't any vocal point. She's an artist. There wasn't any vocal point to the picture, so I think I made up another one that was cropped more on the right. But that was like a surprise, just playing around with blend modes.
I like the light green colors in it.
Yeah, it pops out. The leaf on the left pops out a little bit. I wanted to get it maybe slightly sharper, but I think the way I shot it, I may have moved or something like that, or the shutter speed was too slow because it was dark.
Yeah.
In
Okay. Next is Ron Pfeiffer.
Let's get Ron up here. Let's Ron. We have Ron Piper here, and we just had Lewis talk. Let's pull Lewis out. We'll bring Ron into the stream, and that way he can talk about this this very, very nice, moody, textured shot.
There's a old monastery up in Howard County on Folly Quarter Road. It has a red barn on the land as well. So every few years and try to reshoot it. And it got too well painted and looked really nice this year. But when I walked around the one end, I found an old latch, and I have a collection of old barn latches and shed latches and that kind of thing, pictures that I like to do. So that's really all that is.
I really like it though. It's plain, but I like it.
Ron, I had asked you a question about you were collecting these photos here. What's your end result plan? Do you have anything big planned for the gallery of photos you're shooting?
Not for this. I've how can I say? It's something that's been interesting. I have maybe a dozen or so. I just don't have enough of them that I really think are good enough to do much with. I have a lot more pictures of 10 years of trips to Utah that I'm trying to have put together a couple of books for my own purposes and and planning on another one or two yet. But it's it's one of those things it's a pretty good topic. I didn't have the best light on this at the time I did it,
Gotcha.
but worth on it. Thank you for mentioning that. That might be worth thinking about though in the future.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Okay, sorry, I'm multitasking. Next photo is from also Ron.
Oh wow.
And that's off the same barn, basically. And I was trying to play with it. The barn had a fresh coat of paint on it, so it wasn't as interesting. It had a whole row of rakes and such along the bottom, shovels and all that. But I was caught up in the swoop of the two blades of the saws at the top. I just shut it. I thought, well, let me play with it and see if I can kind of get some interest into it. It's one of those that's it's probably too much work to try to get it what I would like it to be, but it was kind of a fun, rough subject to start with.
What kind of processing is that, Ron? Because the first thing I saw when it came out was photogram. It almost looked like a photogram.
No, what I do a lot of times when I do black and white, I usually start processing it in order to anticipate getting the reds and the blues, particularly, to go as dark as I can get them. So I super saturate them first, and then I move it over to Silver Effects Pro and kind of work the image there if I can get it to go. And this is one of the profiles that had a frame on it that I wasn't particularly fond of, but it was there.
Very nice.
Very nice. Referring back to your last black and white, Elaine Hamley says she loves it. And Fred,
Thank you. It's
okay,
always good to look around for old barns for stuff like that.
It is fun to work that. So we're back to Bob.
This is in Philadelphia. A candid street shot. The guy in the ground is a bit the worse for wear, but what I like about it is I managed to catch the girl's expression as she looks down on him, somewhat bemused. Yeah, because every 3 weeks we got to Philadelphia for my son. That's our excursion for the summer.
Very
Wow.
nice.
This photo packs a lot.
Hey, Bob?
I kind of
Wow,
like the line
that's really
between the
nice. I
two
like it.
heads.
Right.
What was that, Fred?
I said I really like the photo. I like the colors, but I just wonder what black and white would look like.
I think, well, you'd lose the pink. It might, yeah, black and white might make it more emphasize the distress of the image, I think.
Yeah.
Bob, that's
I don't know,
fantastic.
I just feel throwing it out there.
There's a heck of a story going on here, and I think you captured it very well.
Thank you.
I think black and white in the upper left might be confusing, might be difficult. The pink helps bring her out clearly as a subject, and he's against the light background, so he they shine out, and all that upper left stuff is easy to not be distracted by.
Yeah, I love the lines of the black pipes and everything. And then you can kind of see the invisible line of her looking down at him.
That's what I was aiming for.
Okay. Next, we have Susan Weber. And I'm sorry, give me one moment to find her comments.
While you find those, Christine, Oh, she just unshared her screen. While you do that, the pattern of that was very nice, and I love the fact that there was a lady that was kind of walking into that all that jumble. But the problem was, I don't know if that was just your screen, Christine, or not, but it looked like she was cut off right at the neck.
Whose neck?
But bring the photo back up.
Sorry, give me
What are you doing?
one moment. Here. I'm sorry. I'm hitting too many things at one time. Her neck was not cut off.
Next one, dear.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh yeah, she does look like she's
Okay, bringing it back in. There we go. I would have loved to seen her like 3 more bricks down and just kind of entering this puzzle piece.
Her comments on this is patterns interrupted. In the last few years, I have found myself paying more attention to what I see around me. Bright colors, odd shapes, things that fit a competition theme. With a bit more working of the scene, there might have been a useful capture for our pattern theme. When reviewing my photos on the computer, I decided this one actually captures 2 themes. It could be titled Patterns, ruined by 6 feet social distancing. I think at least they could have kept the symmetry by aligning the green tape markings to match the outline of the brick patterns.
That's likely a city worker, Susan. So I don't think that they would probably even be able to put the tape around the brick pattern if they even tried.
But
That's nice.
That one.
I like that pattern. That's a
Shame
cool
I
pattern.
didn't, John.
Oh, come on. Let's just say if anything, it would be a city worker that wouldn't
Sorry.
have understood the aesthetic of the artistic ability of putting that tape where it needs to go.
I know. I would be tempted there to just take those out, Photoshop.
Oh,
They'd
yeah.
be easily removable.
It would be.
Or zoom in and cut off the side and just get the center here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Susan actually wanted them there because they weren't lined up properly.
No,
It
yeah.
does show
You
the
could also
disruption
use
of it.
If he crops in a bit, you could probably use it as a leading line.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
Oh, who did this
This is
one?
Fred.
Darn you, Fred. You know how often we go over to the BWI Business Park and I try to do this, and I'm running my butt off through the parking lot trying to line these up.
Well, let me tell you how I did this one. I was online on July 1st with you guys, and the moon was out, and I was sitting on my deck, and I had my brand new lens, but I didn't have a crop sensor one. And of course, when you use a long lens, a big zoom, it's going to distort the back of it. And I just put the thing on shutter speed priority. I think I pushed it all the way up to about 800 and just let it rip and roar. And I got like 3 of them, but this one I kept 2 of them, and I had to Photoshop one of them a little bit. But when the plane went up a little higher, the bottom of that moon was the light was hitting it kind of funny, and I kind of fixed a little bit in Photoshop. But that's the one I kept.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice.
That is very nice.
I'm gonna sell that I'm gonna sell that thing to Spirit Airlines. Huh?
Do it, please, please.
No, I don't know.
I can't believe that.
Just lucky shot.
I can't believe that.
It's on my deck.
You're on your back deck. I'll sit there and look at the flight patterns, and I'll see where the moon's coming, and of course the darn planes. They're never in the same spot. Yeah, I've tried several times, and I can't get this shot. So good job.
Well, what happened is I seen the moon, and I seen the planes coming, and I said, man, if those guys should ever slide out a little bit farther, I'd be okay. Then I realized if I move, then they would be right there. So I just moved a little bit over and just put it on rock and roll, put it on 800, and put automatic ISO, automatic, just shutter priority, and just let it rock and roll.
Very nice.
Shut off about 10 frames, right? Boom, boom, boom.
The more you practice, the luckier you get.
Yep, that was just a lucky shot. But you'll see it again.
Next, we have Elaine Hambley, and she sent me comments. basically all she says is what I did this summer. Practice, practice, practice.
Good, Elaine.
So that's her comments. And this is very pretty.
Do we have a problem that a lot of the flowers out of focus? Because I think I like it. I like it the way it is.
Going back a moment, Fred, Elaine Hamley over in chat says, what? The photographer moved? And Julie Bennett says, I lived by BWI and could never get a good shot from my deck. And Susan says, I had to, she was saying how she had to shut down and come back in. And now Elaine about this, it says,
the big thing was with
Elaine
the
says,
big thing was I was sitting there.
Okay. Elaine says, practicing. This is one of the daylilies in the backyard. It keeps going in and out of focus. Beautiful colors, Julie says.
That's nice.
And this is Rich.
Rich, give me a second because Facebook has dumped us off again, and actually I think we're back. So go ahead, Rich.
Okay, we went down to Eastport, Annapolis, one evening towards sunset, and it was a fairly spectacular sunset. And go down towards the end of Eastport, and I think this was First Street or Second Street, and there's about a 30-foot wide beach, 10 feet long and 30 foot wide down there. And I just went down there. I was all alone, set up my tripod, and I tried to take, I ended up basically the right word. It's in the shadows there, but in the end, I'm having word recall problem. But I finally just ended up with this outline of the Capitol building. That's actually a ship mast over partway over there.
I love this silhouette, Rich.
Just a way to capture the sunset. What's that?
I love this silhouette, Rich.
Silhouette. God, I have problem with recalling common words these days.
You can ask
They just
John. I
pop
shoot
in and
these all the
out.
time.
Christine loves silhouettes, and I knew she got excited when she saw this. You know what's really cool because
Oh yeah, I have another one of the same scene that's not as wide, but goes down further, and there's a little bit of a somebody in a little raft in the harbor there.
Ooh.
But I like this one better. Ooh, I got a bee flying around here indoors.
Uh-oh.
Kathleen Lay over in chat
Miles
says
above
she
that.
loves
Oh,
the
it's a
golden
fly.
sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I like
Julie
that.
Bennett says beautiful photo.
I like that even if you don't know where this was shot, which I didn't know. I don't go to Annapolis enough. You could definitely see the buildings and that boat mast. I mean, that kind of really narrows it down to what your possibilities were. I'm trying to do double duty on my screen, but Lewis over in private chat said back with Elaine's photo, flowers don't necessarily need to always be in focus, and that's absolutely true.
We're refreshing over
I'm
on
good
Facebook
at not
again.
having them in focus.
We
Yeah.
just lost Facebook again.
Let me take a look. Yeah.
Lewis liked the silhouette. Yeah. Anyway.
I think Mike had said that he saw that Facebook was having issues as well. So we might be doing double duty. We may be having issues with internet, and then Facebook's having, because I can see everybody perfectly.
Yeah, my Facebook says it's paused.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow, that's
Oh,
This is Ron.
what we might end up doing is if we get to the point where we don't have Facebook come back up in maybe the next 30 seconds, we'll continue, and then I am recording. I'll just try to edit the video real quick and pop it up for people.
On the phone and intentionally try to saturate up the pink and the blue and so
Uh,
on. It's one of these things. It worked great.
We are down. Trying to connect back through the other Wi-Fi.
Sort of painterly, but it's not really, it's not really a photograph. And I think that Scott caution is worthwhile. It's nice. It's nice to look at, but it's not really. It's
it's
just kind of a
fudged.
fun thing. Pardon me?
It's been fudged.
Oh yeah,
We're back.
yeah, big time.
Gotcha.
Nevertheless, if you want to get a good sunset, go over to Kent Island and shoot west. It works.
Hmm.
From
We're
where?
back up on Facebook.
There are several places on Kent Island. Terrapin
Yeah,
Park.
I know Terrapin.
Okay, this one is in a community that we were trespassing. There's also Mattapeak Park and Mattapeak Pier further down.
That's south of Terrapin.
South of Terrapin, yeah.
Hey, Ron, can you redo that? I see Facebook is back up now.
We're back up and down. You know what we're going to do is let's just continue the stream. Otherwise, we're just going to be here forever. But what I will do is we'll just continue the stream. I will then edit it real quick, and I'll just upload it. And then anybody who can see us or hear us on Facebook through the issues, we'll just let them know that we'll put a video up real quick.
Don't you think, Ron, if you took this then and kind of desaturated a little bit, but kept the sense of it, you might get to a point where there's a nice in-between point where you really emphasize the colors, but you haven't gone overboard.
Yeah, I think you probably could, but because it was an iPhone picture, I didn't want to overdo it. I didn't think there was enough information in the file to do much with it. And compositionally, I still had a little bit of problem with the fact that the tree was draping too much over part of that bridge and some other things with it that weren't quite 100% to what I wanted. It was just a fun thing. Snap.
I still love the
gone
silhouette.
Through the oversaturate and then try to come back.
Well, like I said, you put stuff up on Facebook and people just ooh and ah over this stuff, and the colors are just way off the charts. And this one got like 1 million likes, and that's typical of that kind of stuff. So I did a kind of as a illustration of what I'm trying to get away from, I guess.
Yeah. Are we ready for the next photo? This one's mine. This is from Alacala Falls whenever we took our trip out to Spruce Knob. This was a 30-second exposure. And with John's help, I caught the 2 swirls in the foreground. I think this is one of my favorite photos.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
Very pretty.
Very nice.
Yeah, Facebook's dropped again.
I had a photo of a falls, and I had included quite a bit of stuff on the top, and a judge told me that I should crop that out, and I actually did, and it improved it. And it was a case where I wonder if you cropped out the bridge at the top, because that's not the subject. If you crop down to a little over the top of the falls, that it might really focus you even more on the swirls and the falls.
It's a good observation.
Yeah. Thank you.
I learned it the hard way. The judge said, and I thought, no, I like what's up there. And then I finally did it, and I went, oh, that's what they were talking about.
Well, to me, it depends on who you're shooting the picture for. I mean, if you're shooting it for competition, it may be a different story. But for me, I like that photo just as it is. I love the bridge up there, and I love to see the swirl. I mean, I love my eyes just for all. I have a lot to look at there, and it's not too much. It's not overwhelming, But, I like the picture. But, yeah, if you were shooting it for a judge, it may be a whole different story. But, to me, it's a wonderful picture. Yes, it takes me, I can see the swirls, I can see the bridge, and I like it, tell you the truth. But like you say, for a judge, they may come back and say, well, you got 3 photos there,
I like it too, but I just
that's a judge
something that struck me when I was doing mine.
Yeah, a judge would come back and say, well, you have 3 photos there, and they would go crop it in. Where you got the swirl, that's one photo. And you got the fall, that's another. And you got the bridge, that's another. But that's what they would probably say.
I think compositionally, it's really good. The fact that I think a judge would zone in a little bit on the fact that the vegetation is just a little bit light at the top, and that bridge area a little light, and that little light stone area off to the right. Tone those down a little bit. I don't know. The 3 elements, and it kind of your eye walks back
Right.
to the bridge. I think it could work.
Yeah. I'll put on my wall, Christine.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you take the bridge out, you don't have any idea of scale. With the bridge in, you have some idea of how big the falls are.
That's right, Bob.
Yeah.
Good.
Good observation. To me, it just kind of was an angle across from the bridge to the waterfall to the in between water to the circles.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah,
me,
actually,
it was
it does
just,
sort of an S curve.
yeah.
And you're right, the bridge kind of finishes the S curve.
The only negative, my eyes keep going to that stony beach on the
Left.
middle on the left, and that
Yeah.
just that really, if you got that dialed back, the rest of it may work a bit, and the vegetation a little darker.
Okay.
Not to be repetitious.
Okay. Thank you. This is from Julie. And she didn't give me any information. We'll see if maybe Facebook comes back up.
Man, that's great. That's a nice photo. That's
That
hard.
is.
That's hard to get.
Is that an egret? This is at
I think
Sunset
so.
Beach, which is a bird
Yeah.
sanctuary.
Yeah, Julie just put something on Facebook. This is in Sunset Beach, which is a bird sanctuary. She just put something on Facebook.
Yep. Thank you. Beautiful shot. She says she took this one over Twin Lake. Okay. Next. This is from Ed Nahanke. And he didn't really give me any feedback. Other than this was at Chincoteague.
Yeah.
Then this is from Richard.
Hi, yeah, this is in Chesapeake City, Maryland. We went up there. There was a spectacular sunset going on behind me there, which I showed on one of the things we had. But I just liked the way it was lighting the bridge there, and we were driving around a little road. And I saw this fence, and I just thought, I don't know. I'm not sure whether that leading line works, but it starts on one side, comes down to the front, goes up to the other side, and then takes you back over the bridge. So I'm curious what people
I think it
think.
works pretty well.
Yeah, it keeps you following through the photo.
It's almost a mirror. How the bridge comes over and peaks, and then on the very bottom, that fence line comes down and kind of peaks the opposite. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I took a bunch of pictures of the bridge. Ooh, somebody's phone's ringing. Took a bunch of pictures of this bridge, but that one just kind of stopped the car on the road and jumped out and took the picture. It wasn't a busy road. There were no cars on it. Anyway,
And the golden light, I think the
Nice.
golden light makes this, Rich.
yeah, I took a bunch of pictures of the bridge from the other side with a sunset sort of in the background. I ended up not liking them. Even though there was interesting foreground in that, everything was dark with a bright sky. And in this case, if you're taking a picture of the bridge is lit up. So that was kind of the lesson I learned.
What
From that
land
one.
is this? Can we go chop that tree down?
Oh, that's a pretty complicated one to chop down in Photoshop.
I'm not talking
I
about
didn't
Photoshop.
even notice the tree. Frankly, I didn't notice it,
Gotcha.
but that's my lack of attention, perhaps. But no way to get around it. Other than maybe to find an angle where I can still get that angle of the fence and get the tree up again, underneath one of the spans,
Ooh.
so that it's an added thing rather than an interfering.
Mhm.
Over in Facebook, Julie says the clouds add interest.
It was a very interestingly cloudy day, and behind me, there's clouds just like that are 10 minutes later just lit up, unbelievably lit up, with the gold linings around the side and the rays coming out, and then a tower going up that's lit by the sun. On the other one, I may save for a competition.
Hmm.
Maybe to find linings around.
Next,
Somebody said something I couldn't hear.
this is from
Oh,
Elaine.
that's
So
right.
again, practice. I love the way the sun is reflecting on that middle water drop.
Ooh, I didn't
Beautiful
see that.
starburst.
The little, yeah.
Yeah, the blurred background and the line across. It might be more interesting if it was a little more diagonal, but that would be the only input I would give.
Was she trying to do the lens in a drop? Was she practicing that? Did she say anything about that?
She didn't say, it just said practice, practice, practice.
Very nice. Because you can almost
Did she add
make that
that
out.
highlight to that, or was it like that?
That's a good question too.
I'm watching Facebook
Because-
chat. If she gives me any input, I'll share it.
I would kind of think it was added because of the shallow background, because
Yeah.
it was low on your thing.
Mm-hmm.
To get that in a camera, you'd need about a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, you definitely need to be stopped down.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I might be wrong.
But no, you're right. Yeah, definitely stopping down the aperture is the more natural way to get that. So that's it's a lucky capture if it's not.
Elaine says, after the rain, this was on an allium. Yes, I was. I don't.
Yes, she was probably going for the lens and a drop, but did she add the highlight there?
We'll have to give her a minute.
Yeah,
to
give her a
reply.
minute. We can continue on.
This is from Julie Bennett.
These are these what are these called? These black storks?
Maybe? A lot of them.
Wow. These are crazy down in Florida with the storks and the pelicans, and they're almost as common as seagulls are up here.
Referring to the last
She
one,
didn't
Elaine
add it.
says
She
The
didn't
back-
do it. That's great.
the background is the grass. The leaf above the one leaf is blurred. And no, she did not add the highlight later.
Julie says wood storks. I know there's a couple different ones out there. And Elaine did not add the highlight. Wow.
That was the sun glinting off the water.
Very nice.
This is also from Elaine. Let me see. She might have given me some input on these.
Yeah, see if you got any more on that.
Nope, just the practice.
Yeah. Elaine, give us some more information on this. Have you started collecting? Obviously, it's practice, but do you collect foreign money? And then we can go on when you're ready.
Referring back to the last one, she says she waited till the wood storks opened their wings. It was in North Carolina. They were wood storks in Sunset Beach. And it looks like the stream might be down again.
Just stop saying the stream's down and the stream's up because we're just going to keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
This is from Ed. This was a picnic one, I believe.
Oh, that looks so good.
Yeah, all the crabs and the shrimp. Oh, referring back to the last one, Elaine says Rick had some leftover money from his trip to Singapore. I played around with it until I found something interesting.
Very nice. I'm sorry I didn't get my invite to the crab feast, Ed.
And this is from JC.
Oh yeah, that's a toy. Excuse me. This was shot at kind of fun park. I was playing. I had said at the beginning of summer one of my neighbors here had some big sunflowers in. He said, "Well," I said, "I want to get a sunflower with the sun shining down on it." So I was out at kind of Farm Park one day, and there's a whole bunch of sunflowers out there over in the garden area. So I started playing around, and as you can know, this is a composite. For me to get that, as you know, if the sun was out, but that's not the real sun behind it. The sun was out, but those things are really dark in the center right here. So for me to get that, I had to go way up on my I think my ISO is somewhere like 1600 to try to get some light in there. Plus, I had to go into Photoshop and play with it and everything. And then I finally got a pretty good picture of the flower, and then. But for me to get the flower, the way I got it there, the sky was just blown completely out white. So then I turned around and shot a picture of the sky, and I just took them home and blended them, added the sky, and then the little sun you see up there in the upper left hand corner, I added that in there. That was all did in Luminar. It was just something I was playing around with it to say sunflower, and I want the sun shining. I want the sun shining on a sunflower.
Very
That's
nice.
clever.
Yeah, it's just nothing for competition, just something I'd like to play with.
Okay. This is one of my shots. This is a paper negative that I took of Little Phoenix or Mary Meyer, anyone who did the shoot in January of the Day of the Dead shoot would have met her. But we had some playtime in our studio, and I had a lot of fun shooting this.
Yeah, and Mary had come over for a project I was doing, and then she had some extra time, and Christine got the big old 4x5 camera out and shot this. Very, very cool. What was in front of her, Christine?
We had a sheer that goes around the bed or something.
Oh, that netting stuff.
That netting
they're like
stuff.
mosquito netting, white mosquito netting. Yeah.
And so we pulled that in front of her and got some photos of her in front of the light.
Very nice.
This is from Michelle. And she gave me comments. Give me a moment to find them. This was in August, and August was all about salmon fishing on Lake Ontario, and she was able to enjoy many sunrises and sunsets on the lake. This picture was from the last sunset on the boat.
Mm.
That's really nice. I just like the juxtaposition of what you're doing with a sunset. I try to take a lot of sunsets, but it's hard to get one that has interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I like the way the light's reflecting through the reel.
I mean, good framing. Good framing of the sun. The only nitpick I would have is the horizon. That's the one thing that sticks out real close to me. And then maybe crop a little bit off the left, because that little loop there is kind of pulls me out there. But other than that, that is an extremely solid photo. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's a nice photo.
Yeah. I would crop a little off the right and left and straighten it out, but it's spectacular.
And this is from JC.
Yeah, again, that's just that what is it, the Patuxent Wildlife Refuge again. Like I say, kind of Farm Park and Patuxent are the two places that I've been this year, this summer. I was out there trying to find something to shoot and couldn't find. Well, I was out there actually trying to get some of the, those are tissa flowers. When they bloom, they got that pretty pinkish purples to them. I was trying to get some shots of them, and then this one here was dying. When they die, they shed like this, and I said, "Oh my God, let me get a shot of that." And but it was really in a crowded place, so I really couldn't get a good shot of it. So I took out my little 12 by 12 background card that I had, and I have one of those things you call what do you call them, little thing that you hold your what's the name of the doggone thing that you can hold. You can put it on you put a stake in the ground and you can hold your background on it and stuff like that. So I put that and I finally got the background behind it, and then I just started shooting it, and I shot it very high, trying to get everything in focus. So that was shot at like f/16. I mean, I'm sorry, that was shot at f/20.
Yes.
And to try to get the whole thing, and of course I didn't want to mess around with trying to do a focus stack, so I just backed up a little bit and put it on a f/20 and shot it, and got a pretty good picture out. Nothing gorgeous, but a pretty good picture out of it. I like it.
Over in Facebook's chat, Elaine, referring to my paper negative, said, "We used to show silent movies in Ithaca during the summer. This reminds me of a scene from one." And Susan, in response to the fishing pole, was asking if that was a leading line.
The reflection of the sun on the railing of the boat for sure kind of points towards the sun, which then also points towards the reel. So yeah, I could see it. I could see it as that for sure.
This is lovely, JC. Back to yours. And I think it turned out really nice.
Yeah, couldn't find anything else to shoot, so this was a bum summer. I couldn't go anywhere to shoot. So it's been trying to shoot anything I could see that looks halfway decent to shoot. I've been shooting it. So
I find it amazing the number of really fast pictures you've shown from that one small area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean
you have a good eye for picking out. Yeah.
Well, every day you go out there, you're going to find something different. You know what I mean? Go out there one day, the flowers are blooming. You go out there the next day, they're halfway dead. You go out there the day it rained, it's different. You go out after the rain, it's out there. It's like a pond out there. They have those water lilies. You can go out there before the rain and nice, but after the rain, they're almost dead. 2 hours later, they are nice, white, and blooming and pretty. So just almost every hour you can get something different out.
See it.
Yeah, I learn how to see. I mean, I talk that. I talk to the club. I'm not able to see, so I'm practicing that, John. Trying to see things to shoot. Not to just pass by.
Very nice.
This is also from Ed. This is from Acetique. I think I might know where this is.
That's cool.
Very nice.
I think I just lost you, Christine.
Did you lose me?
We might have lost. Oh, and we lost internet completely down, even past Facebook land. We'll give ourselves a little break.
It's back now.
Oh, we back? Coming back. There we are.
Yeah, we're back.
This is very nicely seen because it's just, two kayakers just going past all these horses and to not have one of those horses eating. They don't stick their heads up very often.
That is true.
Is this that acetate they call it down there where all the horses are?
Yes.
Either acetique or chincoteague.
Right, okay.
The name said acetique.
Oh, did it say acetique? Okay.
Oh, it is? Okay, great.
Once again,
I want to get down there one of these days.
Once again, I would say, Horizon, but that's real simple, something simple.
This is from Ed also, and this is Ocean City.
Wow, there's so much going on here.
I love the 3 layers of waves. So you kind of have the sky, water, wave, water.
It's chaotic, and I love it.
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
Nice.
pretty
I
much in
look-
focus.
The wave centered,
Mm-hmm.
the one that's breaking.
Yeah, and the spray of the wave coming up.
Wow.
Mm.
What a shot, Ed.
Okay, this is from Bob.
Bob and his bugs.
Yep. We were up in Philadelphia by the Liberty Bell, and the railing there, I saw this little creature, and I'm not really sure what it is apart from a bug with wings. I'm not sure it's a moth. Don't think it's a butterfly, but I just like his colors.
Were his
and
eyes that
orange
red?
eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, I tweaked up the saturation a little bit to bring out his colors.
Yeah, very nice.
There you go.
This shows like Lewis was talking about with the flower not being completely in focus from beginning to end. Just because the outline of those wings are sharp, completely works. This is great.
Very nice. This is from Susan. And I need to go look at her comments. This is called Inside, Outside, Behind. We've had to make several trips to Philadelphia this summer for our son's medical appointments. Finally got a chance to walk down to the Liberty Bell Plaza. Walking tours are still going on, but all buildings are still closed. Fortunately, you can walk up to one window and get a look at the bell. This capture from a bit further away was more interesting, as we see the Liberty Bell inside, seasonal flowers outside, the reflection of Independence Hall, and its clock tower, which is situated behind me, as well as the view through the glass to see the high-rise buildings to the front and left of the Liberty Bell enclosure.
I love the anchoring. I love the anchoring of the flowers on the bottom, and I like the top of the photo. Although it may need a little bit of goosing to see if you can get a little bit of perspective fixing on that. But wow, that's nice. Good eye to see that all that going on.
It's kind of nice how the bell is centered in the middle of Independence Hall.
Ooh.
Plus the high rise. It's kind of neat. This is from Fred. Is he still with us?
Yeah, I was practicing with one light, even though she's got two catch lights in her eyes. And the reason for that is because I used one of the highlighters, and that's just one light. That was a 36-inch octa with a highlighter. You know, those things that were made by Westcott, but now they got knockoffs.
Yeah.
And so they're well under $100.
We'll use them for tin types, and I'm not a fan of them. What do you think about the catch lights on those, Fred? Do you like them?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I used the silver. I should have used the white one, but the whole objective here was to see if I could do it with one light.
Gotcha.
You know, but I did some others, you know, with it, and I like it when it's lower and you got kickers on each side. It works a lot better, but that's not legal.
Yeah.
Going back to the previous shot from Susan, she says centering the bell within Independence Hall was luck.
This is great, Fred. The only thing I would say is, and I don't see these either. And what I do is I either have Christine with me or I get Michelle to come over with the shoots, because they will see all those little straps. And of course, females going up to the models and saying, "Hey, can I tuck these straps behind your shirt?" They can do that easily, but I usually miss like twisted necklaces and things like that. But you may, maybe a thought would be just those straps. Now the one on the right you can pull out easily, but that's the only thing that really sticks out. Otherwise, it's a beautiful shot.
Well, you know, it's her dress. You know, it was designed. The dress is designed to be like that.
Okay.
And nobody liked it except me. I mean, everybody said, "Oh, the straps are terrible." And I'm going, "That's the whole thing that makes a dress." Okay. I mean, the woman's wearing it. Show it. But that's that's just my opinion.
Gotcha.
Is the main light behind Fred?
No, main light is right straight at her. You see the catch light, the top catch light? The
Right.
the top catch light is a 32-inch octa with a cover with no grid on it, just your regular diffuser on it, and it's up, and she's 30 inches from the center of the clam shell reflector. So what's happening is hitting that, and that's just bringing that light up under her chin.
Okay.
I don't use them that much. I've used them a couple times, but I like it with 3 or 4 lights on it. But hey, I was trying to do it with one because I usually have a kicker, got something on her hair. Something a lot of guys use a beauty dish, a raw beauty, a white one, beauty dish, or they might use one with a socket. I own one, but I probably use it maybe a dozen times.
Interesting.
Mike's and a few of ours.
Okay, we got a couple more photos. Let's. We're almost done.
Okay, this is from Mike. Is he still with us?
I think he is. He had kind of bounced out. Let me bounce him back in. I'm gonna pull out. Let's pull out JC real quick and see if we can bring Mike in. Mike, are you with us? Can you tell us about this shot?
Yeah, so asked for some photos that talked about what I did for the summer. The biggest event for my summer was retiring from 33 years of government service. So this was my retirement gift. And so I photographed that in my basement last week. Used 3 lights on it, one on a strip box on the left, strip box on the right, and a kicker for the background light. Biggest challenge was getting all the gold to reflect around the triangle.
Very nice.
Wow. Sometimes these flags are flown somewhere. Did this flag fly at any government building, Mike?
Yes, that's the flew over Fort Meade.
Oh, that's cool.
This one's also from Mike.
Ooh.
Continuing with the theme of what I did this summer, there was drinking, during the whole COVID lockdown. This happens to be a bottle of rum I was given for retirement. So it will serve double purpose. It will serve for this, and I took the picture this weekend, so it'll also be. You'll see it again when we get to the favorite drink discussion later on.
Is there any left?
We'll have. This was done with 3 lights. There's one on the left, one on the right, and one against the background. And then to get the glare so it wouldn't show on the bottle, I actually used a technique I've just recently learned about called cross polarization. So I had a polarizer on my camera, and I put a polarizer on the light that's pointing straight at the front of the bottle, that's lighting up the label and stuff. And by turning the polarizer on the camera, I was able to eliminate the glares on the bottle from the light.
Very nice. Do you have a backdrop that looks like
Mike.
that?
That's a great idea.
Do you have the
So it looks
backdrop?
like the one you have.
Go ahead.
It's a big sheet of plastic that's a polarizer that I actually put in front of the strobe, the LMB, and then I just turned the polarizer on the camera, just like you would do, to enhance the sky or eliminate, or enhance a rainbow or something like that. I just turned it until I saw in the video preview that the reflection was gone, the glare from the light was gone.
I never thought of anything like that. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Mike, is that a backdrop or did you add a texture to it?
That is a backdrop.
Okay. Very nice.
Bob, you said something?
The polarizer, it must be quite big if it's going to cover a strobe. Is it very expensive?
I think it was $20. It's a sheet of plastic done as a piece of paper, and it's about the size of a regular sheet of paper. Fits perfectly in the hole.
Oh, neat. Very clever.
This is also Mike's.
And final image of what I did this summer is I started a new job after I retired from the government, and so I now work for Lincoln Labs for MIT, and this is a Lincoln Labs coin that I photographed for that. And all of these were the same setup. Really, this one only needed 2 lights. It didn't need 3 lights, but they're all shot at f8, 1/125th of a second. They've all got artificial light. Um, you know, 2 of them are setting black plexiglass and the background's reflecting on it. So it's very similar technique, just different subjects. And again, there was a little challenge getting the gold in this coin to reflect evenly so that you could read it.
Very nice.
Very nice. Okay. This is John's
And that's
photo.
my summer.
This is a shot of our only outdoor event of the summer. Usually, by the time we're doing this event, we're on our 20th to 30th event of the summer, and it was kind of fitting because at the time that we shot this, we're getting ready to get into October, and usually this is when we're teaching about spirit photography and a photographer in Boston by the name of William H. Mumler. And I had a this great couple come up to us, and she said, "I'd like my husband to be a ghost," and we made this. And it's a very simple technique. It was a 2-second exposure, and after 1 second, I put the lens cap back on, got him out of there, and continued the exposure. Real simple stuff. This is a tin type. This is a half plate tin type, 4.5, 4 1/4 by 5.5.
So it's basically a multiple exposure.
Just a in-camera double exposure. 1 second with the lens cap off. I told her to make sure she stayed perfectly still, and then when I put the lens cap back on, I got him out of there without him moving her at all, and then finished the exposure up. And the secret is to make sure you have something that's textured in the background. Otherwise, you don't have anything to show through them, and it doesn't work out. She felt bad that night, so they came back the next day, and we did another tin type where he was still alive.
This is from Michelle, and let me read what she wrote about it. She said, "This is from June. June was about hiking and nature, photographing lots of birds along the way. This eagle, all about trying not to get pooped on."
I probably wouldn't wash out.
I love the detail in this.
Wow.
Really sharp.
That's amazing. Good job, Michelle.
And this is also from Michelle. And this would be July then, which July was about reconnecting with friends after 24 years and given the opportunity to photograph the baseball games of their kids. This picture is from the last game played.
Was he safe or was he out?
She doesn't say. Going over to chat, the photo that you had, John, Julie Bennett says it haunted her.
Oh, sorry, Julie. I've got a video coming out showing the fixing process. Michelle was helping me out this weekend, and she got some video. So I'm editing some video that may go out for the next day or two. I'll share it.
I think she means the wife was haunted by the fact that her husband was dead in the first photo.
Oh, yeah. Well, they had fun. There was they joked about it, but they want to do a diptych, and they wanted to buy 2 period frames, and do a diptych of before, maybe like before he left for the war and after. Very nice, Michelle. That's very crisp, very sharp.
Yes, that was a nice photo. Now this is yours.
John. We're with me not being with all my photos. I really couldn't find a photo, but one of the things that I did was I got back into doing oratones, And what an orotone is, move your mouse out of the screen there, Chris. And what an orotone is it is an albumin on glass that is gold leafed. So therefore, all the highlights of the image are actually gold. And so all I had was this photo here for customers and supporters of me. I send out either postcards or prints every month, and I made a print out of that. But this is my first orotone after probably a good 15, 20 years. But it's a beautiful process. It's albumin on glass, and as I said, it's gold leafed on the back. So it's got this amazing warmth and depth to it.
Okay, very nice. This one's also yours.
Oh, mine again. Christina, I think Christina said she wasn't feeling too well, but this is Christina's daughter, Bridget, and she had helped me with a tintype for a show on isolation. And while we were there, I had photographed her in front of this is the Royal Fox Theater at the Maryland Renaissance Festival. And we created a negative of that. And Christine actually coded this for me. As I was making platinum palladium prints, I told Christine, hey, let me show you how to make a platinum print. And she coded this and exposed it and developed it. And this print here went up for auction at the Maryland. It was some kind of an auction for Renaissance Festival craftspeople, which have been hit extremely hard this year. And this one specifically went to craftspeople here for the Maryland Renaissance Festival, and that actually did pretty well in auction. That ended Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah. How much did that make? I think it was like $300.
$340.
But it was definitely very humbling experience because just working with people and getting it done and then being able to donate it was really cool.
And the last shot is mine. These are my 2 new Petzval lenses mixed with John's traditional historic Petzval lens. And I'm going to have fun shooting these this year, especially the 58, which I like because you can adjust the amount of bokeh in the background and exactly how swirly it gets. The first one we got, which is the 85.
What is a Petzval lens, Christine?
A Petzval lens is a historic lens that was invented back in the 1840s by Petzval. My brain's blinking on his
mathematician Joseph Petzval. This is the first multi-element lens, and these lenses were traditionally about f3.8.
And these are modern reproductions that you can put on your digital cameras, with the one in the middle being a traditional one from way back when.
It has a Nikon F mount, the Canon EF mount. You can put them on as Christine said, a DSLR or a film SLR, which we haven't yet, but we're looking forward to. Now, what is that thing in the front that's on the table, Christine?
That is a Waterhouse stop. If you look on the 2 lenses, you'll see where they can slide in, and it helps you adjust your aperture.
Very nice.
And that should be the last one. Yes. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Sorry about the problems we were having. And we look forward to seeing you again next week whenever we have our presentation from Richard Sterlarski on why I use Bridge. And thank you everyone for joining us. Good night.